This content is brought to you by BEC Financial Technologies, developing and operating IT for Danish banks.
All right, guys, today I would love to give you a very short lightning talk about some of the interesting topics that may pop within the recent weeks, months, or for some maybe also in the years. So I have been looking at the internet over a couple of months ago, and I figure out that, oh, Angular is introducing incremental hydration. Interesting. They influence themselves by SolidJS hydration concept. Interesting. Then I saw something around quick resumability as a next generation hydration. And I was like, okay, once again, this weird word, what does it mean? Then it was like improving React.js with full hydration with Next.js. I was like, okay, I saw a couple of conferences and presentations on Next.js. What the hell is this hydration? Then introducing lazy hydration and server components in Nuxt, or demystifying Vue.js hydration. I was like, okay, it seems like many of the frameworks are talking about the hydration. So what's about it? And then apparently, if you look at the biggest conferences in Poland, but also in Europe and in the United States around Frontend, it has quickly become a top trend together with SSR on conferences. And now I would ask question, how many of you work on daily basis with SSR and hydration? Can you raise your hands? All right, you see? That's not a lot, right? It shows that this trend, it's not necessarily represented directly immediately on the solutions, but I think it's worth to know what the fuck is this hydration. So my name is Sebastian Gos, and I'm development manager. You can translate it to engineering manager at BEC Poland. I'm also a coding dad of two at Tata Koji. And I'm happy to talk with you about those topics which are presented over here in the break. So, what the hydration is? Okay, I could finish, right? That's it, more or less. So the hydration is a process of activating the static HTML with JavaScript so it becomes interactive. All right. So for the ones who are working with client-side scripting, client-side rendering, you know how it works, right? We need to load many things until our page becomes interactive. But that means that our customers, solution users, they are not seeing many things at the very beginning. They mainly see a loader if they have luck, but in majority of times they see a white blank page. And then when it comes to server rendering, we are able to show that something is happening, that the given elements of the page are loading, as we are able to render HTML, load JS, and then hydrate it, which means that we are making our page alive. So that would be it, right? You can scan the code. That redirects you to my article, which I published today. No, I mean, today I'll take you through a cool story. Yeah? Yeah? Sure. So let me tell you a story about the Witcher of optimization today, all right? So you arrive to a Novigard under a blood-red sunset, and you decide to pick one quest, right? You're looking for some cash, you're looking for some food, then you pick some of the quest. And one of those quests is a Curse of Hydration. Ooh. So you quickly figure out that the whole city is something under a black magic. People stop moving. They can't move. They can't blink with their eyes. The horses are not riding. They're also, frozen. They are dehydrated. Exactly. So you come up with, with some ideas what could happen, and you do some investigation in the docks, in the other parts of the city, and you figure out some signs of the lag monster. The big shadow arrived, and it turned all city into dehydrated city, which can't move and cannot act. So, as a witcher of optimization, you know what to do, right? You use a special sign which you learned in the witcher school, which is full hydration. So you take this super sign and you start doing magic. But it turns out that with the full hydration sign, the whole city froze. The whole city froze, and then you are probably even in the worse situation than you were earlier. Because full hydration used recklessly can take you into the very poor user experience. So you can see those people are not just, they're not moving, they're even frozen, and they will die in a moment. So you call a wizard of optimization, not just a witcher, but also a wizard. And you ask him for a help. What could I do? What are the other options we could use? So then the great wizard says, you should use something like incremental hydration. All right, cool. I'll try it out. And it turns out it starts working. You start incremental hydration and hydrating given elements of the city that helps you to fight with the monster. So you start with the soldiers, you start with the castle, you start with some, weapon equipment guys. So someone who can help you mainly. And you see that the certain elements of the city start to be hydrated. They start reacting. But apparently, monster comes back. And when the monster comes back, he turns it back to be dehydrated. How you can relate? Well, the monster refreshed the page. He refreshed the city and turns it back into dehydrated city. Everyone still can't move. And he starts to destroy the city. So do you have an idea what could we do? Because incremental hydration was working, but the monster is faster. He comes back. He does lots of damage to the city. Do you have any idea, guys, the ones who are working with hydration and SSR, what could be a solution? Maybe. So the witcher of optimization decided to call Yennefer, and the Yennefer gave him a good advice around you should use a sign of resumability. And resumability helped witcher of optimization to kill the monster, to kill the lag monster. So in the future, dear witchers, if you are in front of a decision, which signs should we use? Which signs should we, learn? You can use this cheat sheet. And I hope this gives you at least some sort of an overview. What are the potential tools or witcher signs you could use in future? Thanks. That would be it. But it's not the end. I also would love to give you a short insight. As Kuba mentioned, we are looking for a very, very curious witcher who knows some science around design system. We look for a true expert in this field. So if you look for a job or you consider changing, then feel free to reach out to us, scan the code, and apply.